Rise and shine with global entertainment news morning buzz. I am your host Bella, ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bring his own spark to the studio is.
Mhm.
Let's dive into today's headline, fresh from the Punch and Vanguard newspaper. Top story from the Punch: Iran Israelite petrol may hit 1,000 naira per liter as oil price soars. Global crude oil price may cross $8 per barrel this week following the major escalation in tension between the United States and Iran, with the oil market reacting sharply to the report of the coordinated US Israelite airstrike as key Iranian nuclear facility. This came as marketers of petroleum products says petrol price may soon rise to 1,000 per liter due to rising crude oil price and the volatilities in the foreign exchange market. This development follow a primitive defensive strike overnight attack launched by the United States on the three of Iran's major nuclear sites. The strike, as announced by the President Donald Trump, obliterated Tehran critical nuclear infrastructure, joining an Israelite assault in an escalation of conflict in the Middle East as Tehran vowed to defend itself. Iran in OPEC, third largest crude oil producer. As a swift retaliation, the Iranian parliament has reportedly moved to shut the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic checkpoint that handled nearly a fifth of the world oil supply. The move sent immediate shockwave through the global energy market, with Brent crude trading higher in the early hour and analysts projecting further gain.
I think we we all know Iran to be one of the world's most one of the countries that has more petroleum. Seeing that the United States having that attack against them overnight, I think the US has more reasons to go for that attack. You know, US to always want to go into attacks well known to them that this is what is really happening. But to me, I feel with what is really happening in Iran and Israel, I think the US shouldn't have done that secret attack overnight, destroying so many infrastructures like that. Seeing them and knowing after this attack, you know what's going to happen, what's going to come next. Because if you destroy a particular place where Iran are actually benefiting from, where just like coming into the country now, here in Nigeria now, and um, you are destroying places like Dangote oil factory, something like that. When you destroy things like that, the country is tend to suffer a lot because Iran deals with their major economy inputs there is crude oil and crude oil in general. Because we know Iran to be, I think, the second largest oil exporting countries, producing country also. So I think there's a more to what is really happening in that case.
Well, I would say that the issue between Iran and Israelites has been known for a long time now. That has been coming on over and over again. And whatever dispute that they are having between them is between the both of them. And U.S. Donald Trump going to actually destroying some of the infrastructure is actually wrong. I know he's trying to make peace between the Iran and Israelite, but destroying some infrastructure in that place is actually a wrong move for him to take. And then it's really a big it's going to escalate, if I'm not being wrong, but it's going to escalate because Iran they are not going to back down about it, but they also wanted to come back and then hit US with their own. Well, let's move on. Nigerians bag 43 months jail for defrauding US citizen. A Nigerian, Ridwan Adepoju, has been sentenced to 43 months imprisonment by a United States of American district court for participating in a fraudulent scheme that targets several Americans and businesses. The U.S. Department of Justice disclosed this in a statement obtained by Punch Metro on Sunday. According to the statement, Adepoju, alongside a co-inspirator operates the fraudulent scheme, which include phishing, romance scam, and submission of fraudulent tax return in Nigeria. The statement noted that Adepoju has moved to the United States where he was arrested and extradited to the US in 2024. Upon his extradition and indictment, he pledged guilty to counts bordering on federal wire fraud and aggravated identity theft in March 2025.
Well, it's like fraudulent act like this. We all know that the US don't take things like this very, very lightly. You scamming their citizen, especially when it comes to an African citizen again. Nigeria to even be precise for that matter. Because the US are now, it's now taking this scam issue so serious like than ever. Because I actually came across some posts online where the US tracking body, probably let's say the IT body, the cyber body, they actually come together to say, okay, oh, they've been hearing so many complaints about their citizen being scammed, and after going through so many investigation and investigating so many parties, noting that most of these fraudulent acts come from Africa, and 70% of these fraudulent acts from Africa comes from Nigeria. So they actually now know that Nigerians alone target their citizens more. So now they've gotten to a conclusion whereby what they will do now is to focus so many things here on Nigeria. I think so many of Nigerians are into scamming and everything. Tell you, from now on, you start hearing more cases of them being caught.
Exactly, because yeah, where you know that this thing is actually against the rules and regulations, yeah, you don't have to go into that state and actually commit a fraudulent act. It's really against their law. Let's move on. Hospital hired 564 contract doctor and amid worsening shortage. Hospitals across Nigeria are relying on 564 locum doctors to temporarily fill staffing gaps and sustain healthcare delivery amidst a worsened shortage of medical personnel, the Punch report. The number of temporary medical practitioners appointed on a contract basis was obtained exclusively from the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors. The figure illustrates the increasing reliance on casual employment within Nigeria's strained healthcare sector. Hospitals have increasingly turned to locum doctors as a stopgap response to a chronic shortage of medical personnel, a crisis fueled by the mass immigration of healthcare workers. However, the casualization of this doctor came with unsteady employment without job security, pension, and benefits. Health Association warned that this pattern deepened the crisis. In 2024, NAD demanded an end to the casualization of doctor, labeling it a severe threat to service delivery and doctor welfare.
Well, it's actually to me, I think that's a very, very sad news to hear that Nigeria actually going to shortage of doctors, and it's a good step to hire 564 virtual doctors because it's with the rate of which we are hearing of insecurity in the country and casualties in the country, accidents and everything. I think this country, we shouldn't be going through the case, we shouldn't be even going through this kind of situation now, having the kind of numbers we have in school studying medicine, studying so many medical courses. Till now we are still having shortage. Most of where all these people that study all these medical courses, where are the persons if not in this country? Obviously, it's obvious that most of all these people after schooling here in the country, we go out of the country to further more. Because if we're having that case every year and I think every 6 months, I guess, or every 8 months, there are new graduates that comes outside from all these medical schools. So we shouldn't be hearing shortage of doctors. But nevertheless, hiring 564 functional doctors, I think it's actually a very good step by the federal government. Definitely, it's actually a good step.
Well, saying that about that of a contract doctor, I think that our government really needs to put more eyes when it comes to medical health and the people that are actually in need of a treatment. Hiring those ones is just like a temporary thing, but it doesn't actually solve the solution. It's just as if I'm promising those people can leave at any time. They can have a new opportunity to leave the country tomorrow and then they'll just leave at any time. So I think right now the government has to put more hand when it comes to medical schools, and then when they are coming out, guarantee them with their pension and also their welfare that is going to be coming regularly, not something that they after some months they have to start begging the government for their salary. They have to catch up with them early and then try to build up with them, employ them full time, not a contract doctor, because this one is not going to be a permanent one. Well, let's move on. Riverman arranged for assaulting ladies in nightclub. The police in Rivers State says the case of alleged assault on some ladies by a socialite at a popular nightclub in Port Harcourt, the state capital, has been charged to court. Punch Metro recalled that last week a video surfaced online of the movement when some ladies celebrating a birthday ceremony were allegedly assaulted at the fun spot with bodily injured on them. The police says already the man identified as Ehichi Maduba, whom the ladies claim assault them, had been invited for questioning and immediately detained. The spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Eringe Okoko, disclosed this while speaking to our correspondent on Sunday in Port Harcourt. Erige Okoko says hit haters, all those involved in matters has been identified and invited to the state command for questioning to ensure justice before the matter was charged to court. She stated there is this video on social media where some ladies were assaulted at a nightclub called Black Box here in Port Harcourt.
Well, this is me. I see it as usually it's funny to me, but going into a nice club, we are there to. The main reason for you to go to a nice club is for you to go there, have fun, enjoy yourself, probably have fun to the fullest. When you go into a club to a public building, a public space, going there and assaulting women, we know how the constitution actually favor female gender. And if you are going to a place in a public place like that, assaulting people, apart from even a woman, if you assault people in a public place, we know consequences of those kind of things. Not even to an extent of giving those women actually injuries like
Exactly.
that. And I think, and if those ladies actually file a case against them, I tell you, it's going to mad by itself is going to face the laws. And I think we might be seeing it as a very not a serious case like that, but I tell you, it's going to be a very serious one when it gets to court.
Exactly. Well, let's move on. NDLEA arrested Kuala Poly student makeup artist in drug sting. A 22-year-old student of Kwara State Polytechnic, Olutin Nifemi, has been arrested on June 19 along Kwara Poly Road in Ilorin with 1 kilogram of skunk. She was identified as a notorious dealer supplying drugs to other students. The spokesperson for the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Femi Babafemi, in a statement on Sunday says a 22-year-old female student of Kwara State Polytechnic, Olutin Nifemi, notorious for selling illicit substance to other students, was on Thursday, June 19, arrested at her base along Kwara Poly Road in Lorry with 1 kilogram skunk. Similarly, he disclosed that a 43-year-old makeup artist, Adekoya Mary, who claimed she was traveling to India for fibroid surgery, was arrested by operative of the NDLEA at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, for attempting to smuggle 2.20 kilograms of cocaine concealed in her suitcase. The arrest, which occurred on Monday, June 16, 2025, followed credible intelligence. Babafemi says Adekoya was placed under surveillance and allowed to check in her luggage before being apprehended at the boarding gate of the Qatar Airways flight to India via Doha.
So when I hear cases about smuggling drugs in this country, I tend to always smile because I don't know if people are not even wise enough to know that most of all these cases this kind of thing is just like a 50-50 way of escaping, because you can't carry those kind of illicit drugs in your body or probably anywhere to actually want to smuggle it out of this country going to an airport. Assuming you are going to the roadside now, you know how how light can be to actually want to travel this kind of thing. But you moving out of the country, going to a very secure place like an airport, they expect for you to move things away. Maybe probably it's something they do regularly. Probably have people they are always paying to move all those things out. But every day is for the trip. One day actually going to be for the owner. You cannot be
Exactly.
expecting it to be happening every day. And I tell you, this act done by this lady, I tell you, for you to even have been on the news already, she's not going to escape from it. And I tell you, it's going to serve as a lesson to other drug dealers out there that actually feel that they can actually go to the extent of actually moving drugs out of the country. I think this is the second case we are hearing in months now about drugs being moved to India and Dubai, Doha, and other parts of the country, and the other part of Dubai. I tell you, I think Dubai now has had more cases of
Drug dealing.
uh, dog movement and everything now. I think it's something they really need to,
Look into.
yeah.
Well, let's move on. Today's top story from the Vanguard. Group rescue 13-year-old girl disfigured by guardian in Imo. A human rights organization, Stand for Humanity Foundation, has rescued 13-year-old Favor Nuhu, allegedly battered by her guardian, Ms. Joyce Onyinye. The founder of the organization, Chidubemi Okoma, disclosed that the girl who suffered an injury on her right eye has been admitted to Imo State University Medical Center in Owerri, the state's capital for holistic medical examination and care. Okoma disclosed that a preliminary investigation by doctors shows that the minor couldn't see anything with the affected eye. He noted that the girl told the investigating police officer at the State Criminal Investigation Department in Owerri that her guardian used a cord of a laptop to inflict the injury on her. We stumbled on a video going viral on social media on Friday, wherein some concerned citizen who live in the same neighborhood as the minor was interviewing her. In the video, the girl admitted that her madam was dishumanizing her and inflicting injury on one of her eye, but out of fear, the minor begged on her interviewers not to tell her madam.
I think it's actually, I think this kind of abuse is something we really need to look into in the country, because we tend to always want to get out. We get few cases of this kind of abuse. But I tell you, something that happens most frequently in the country that most people don't really know about. I tell you, abusing a 13-year-old child, I think is very, very, very bad and sad to hear. That child can actually be yours. Even though the child is not yours, but going to the extent of inflicting an injury on the eye, it's very, very see. Eye is one of it's one of
Most important thing is
it's one of the most important sense organ we have in the body, that nobody wants to even have injury on the eyes. If you see things, if you see someone that wants to go into probably an unexpected accident, the first thing the person tries to protect is our face, because we know how delicate an eyes can be. If you are not seeing anything, you know how bad. Just close your eyes for like 2 minutes without seeing anything. You know how dark everywhere is going to be. I think what that lady has actually done is, I'm even happy the human rights has actually come into that that situation to be able to move very swiftly to even get the police involved or anything. I think, to me, I think that's very, very bad attitude to actually a 13-year-old. She's not even 18 yet.
well, there's several videos of that different guardians has been maltreating their own child they are looking after. And it's really, really a bad thing to witness that a mother, you also have your own child, then you are inflicting a pain on another person's child just because she's the parent of that child actually let her to stay with you and work for you. And it's really bad. And I'm so happy that the human rights of Nigeria are actually going into action, and whenever they notice something like that, well, it's a good one. Let's move on. Army raid kidnappers then in Lorry, arrest 8, rescue 2 victims. The Nigerian Army says on Sunday that troop of 22 armored brigade deployed at Forward Operating Base, Patij, successfully raided a notorious kidnapping den in Ilorin, Kwara State, arrested 8 suspected kidnappers and rescued 2 kidnapped victims. According to the army, the coordinated raid on the suspected kidnappers enclave was part of sustained effort to rid Kwara State of criminal elements and ensure public safety. It stated, acting on the credible intelligence, a troop of the 22 Armored Brigade launched a tactical operation on Saturday, 21st June 2025, targeting a hideout on the outskirts of Lankaji village in Patiji local government area. During the operation, the troop encountered resistance but swiftly empowered the criminal with superior power, firepower.
Well, I would like to say very good kudos to Nigerian Army, especially the 22 Armored Brigade team for actually sweeping into action to to rescue
The kidnapping,
kidnappers and
the kidnapped victim,
yeah,
you know.
kidnapped victim and actually arresting its suspect already. I think this is what we should be striving for in this country. The kind of efforts the military are actually putting to be able to carve away the insecurity in the country. You know the rate at which kidnapping has actually rampant in the country. I think it's actually a good step. My kudos to them because it's when you do good, you always want to praise good works and you expect more good works. You know, learning to be a den of kidnapping. Even though we hear cases of people going to another country to kidnap people, to bring them to another country for them to hide them. So I think it's a very good step by the Tomiso Ahmad Brigade team to actually sweeping into action.
Well, it's a good one. Let's move on. One dead, 3 rescues as 40-meter truck crushed Korope bus in Lagos. Tragic struck in the early hour of yesterday when a truck crushed a commercial minibus, popularly called Korope, along Old Ipaja Road by Abetokun Onyerotin Iyani Paja in the Alimosho area of Lagos. The crash claimed the life of the driver and left 3 other passengers injured. This incident occurred barely 48 hours after 2 bus rapid transit (BRT) buses had a head-on collision at the cement bus stop in Alimosho, injuring several passengers, including a media practitioner who were rushed to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja, for medical attention. According to the report, the latest accident, which occurred around 9 a.m. on Sunday, involved a fully laden 40-feet mark containerized truck with registration number MUS 729XY. The truck reportedly suffered a brake failure and rammed into the Korope.
So I think this is very, very, very sad. It's a
Exactly.
very sad one. So anytime cases like this happen, I always want to flash back to what the family of those people actually going through. And I always want to flash back to a particular person waking up in the morning after praying for a bear, a good day, and you wake up and see this kind of thing, especially in the morning, early hours in the morning. It's very, very sad, I tell you. And I think what our government really needs to learn from this kind of how to prevent not even the government alone now, the
The road
drivers
safety and order.
drivers and everything, road laws and everything. Now the eyewitness have come out to say that it was a brake failure by the truck driver, and I think we really need to take our mechanical issues very very serious for coming out on the road and moving things out like that. It's a very sad one, I tell you. It's a very sad
Well, I think on the matter of the truck, I feel like Lagos has been having an encounter when it comes to truck falling on buses and all that. There was a video that I watched when a truck fall from a bridge down at on that let me say in somewhere around that it's not Ikorodu, yes, Agege side, when a truck actually fall over the bridge and then hit. There were so many people, and then I feels like this thing has to be controlled. If those truck drivers needed to be stopped for the day busyness and then allow them to drive at night, I think that would be most better, because these days around we have so many record of a truck falling on, and many people are already afraid of that not to happen to them. Well, let's move on. Police confirm 13-man attack on River local government administrator. The Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the violent attack, torture, and correction of the administrator of Aho Ada East local government area, Honorable Goodluck Ehenacho, by a gang of about 30 hoodlums allegedly led by his chief security officer and chief of staff. The incident, which occurred on June 20th, 2025 at about 1:40 p.m. reportedly took place at the council secretariat. According to the police, the attacker held Ahenacho hostage and forced him under duress to sign a signation letter that later surfaced on social media. Video circulating at the weekend shows the embattled administrator being assaulted by the gang inside the premises of the council secretariat. Another council officer, the secretary of the local government council, Mr. Alabi, was also captured in the footage being manhandled in similar degrading manner. Confirmed the development in a statement issued in Port Harcourt. Police Public Relations Officer SP Grace Irinji Koko described the act as heinous and says the police were deeply disturbed by the assault.
when it comes to cases like this, I believe I often don't want to emphasize on cases like we know how people tend to do their administration, and if hoodlums can actually move into the secretariat and do this kind of thing, definitely it has actually touched them where they never expected, and probably it's what is even happening in their society, and premises and how things are being done in their locality will be what has actually tensioned them to want to come outside and attack administrators and show them shady, doing that was shady.
Well, I feels like this thing is not supposed to be settled accordingly. Whatever that is actually happened between the honorable and his own staff, we should have been settled. But I feels like Nigerian tend to actually go into the violence way. Like, if this person is not agreeing to terms and conditions, I have other ways that I can actually deal with them, and it's really really sad. Well, thank you for joining us on our breakfast show today. I have been your host, Bella. Be sure to join us tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, have a blessed and lovely day. Bye.